I'll go. Who do you want in? Steve? I think it's always worked out for me to be here. I didn't necessarily set out that was the most important thing for me, was to play for one organization. I think for me, I wanted to just have a career. I think the team always valued me, and I was always appreciative of what I had, and knew that if I went somewhere else, it wasn't necessarily going to be there. You know, I've had some of those thoughts this year, like this will be the last time I'm going to do this will be the last time I'm going to do that. You kind of have these routines, and it takes you back to your mindset when you had, like, what you were thinking going to these games, the music you're listening to, and the emotions that you feel. You feel anxiety, you feel excitement, there's a little bit of fear. You're not sure how you're going to do, you're not sure how it's going to go. I don't really feel those as much now because I'm not playing as big of a role. But it does take you back to those times when you were on the arena and you're coming in for a game 5 and you got to win it. I just appreciate that I had that, you know, and a lot of people don't get that, and a lot of people don't have anything in their life that makes them feel that way. And for me, I feel that, I'll remember that now as I take a lot of these kind of final trips, and San Antonio will be a special one. And you know, we'll come into the arena, we'll play the game, and we'll see what happens. But, you know, it's cool to have those memories.
He's had this locker at least, I mean, ever since I've been traveling, he's been this one every time. Like, if I had him somewhere else and he walked in, he wouldn't know what to do if he wasn't in this one. Very few guys that play their whole career with one team, much less have a 15-year career. You know, some guys that have an 8-year career, they don't even do it with one team. To play 15 years in the league, one team, and never average 10 points a game. So that just goes to show, you know, what kind of guy, his character, what he's like in the locker room, a teammate. For him to, you know, be able to do that, it, you know, speaks volumes of him as a person.
Hey, hey, be ready for their speed, force, physicality. All right, we got to knock them off their spot. Let's enjoy playing with each other. All right, let's have a good one tonight. Go, a lot of energy. Let's go. When this Thunder thing came together, I really found my niche, found ways I could really impact winning, and I think I realized that and totally bought into not worrying about my stats. It was more like, this is the best way for me in my career right now, is to really embrace this and try to be a great pick and roll defender and help defender and post defender and move the ball on offense, and not worrying about how many shots I was getting. I just was like appreciative to be on a good team, and I went all in with just, if I can play this way and help us win, good things are gonna happen for me, and it's gonna happen for the team. A lot of guys don't ever find that niche, and I was able to find it. So this is the route I usually take to the games. It used to be my time to really try to clear my head, start thinking about the game, you know, get pretty amped up about the game and get myself ready to play. I think I've always had an ability to be pretty locked in. Some of it comes out of insecurity and a fear of failure, and realizing, like, I'm playing in this level, I'm playing the NBA, I gotta have every single thing I can to help me play well. And so if I'm not focused, I'm not gonna play well enough, and I'm gonna be out of here. That's always been my mindset. And even after 15 years, I think I still have that. I don't like getting there too early because I don't like having to sit around and have my mind just wander. Once I get going, I like to just
keep going. I don't like to start getting in the flow, getting ready to play, and then stop and sit for a while. I like to just stick to my routine. I'll run out. Russ tosses me the ball. I throw the ball to someone, I do my stretch thing, he stretches. When he's ready, I throw a left-handed bounce pass, and he hits it with his foot up in the air and catches it. I don't know why, but it's what we do. Everybody comes out, I say my little thing that I say.
Just play like we've been playing, that's why we had success. We play each possession. That's all we got to do going into the next 2 months. All right, come on.
And then we run out there, and I have a routine on layup lines, what I do. I try to dunk the ball off my left foot. I try to dunk the ball off 2 feet. I go stretch out. I try to shoot a corner three, a couple shots from different areas. At 9 minutes on the clock, Dakari passes me the ball. Dakari! I dunk off 2 feet from one dunker spot, 2 feet from the other. And it's more just superstition, but there are a couple things I want to do. I want to make sure that I can still dunk today. I want to try to really go hard in a couple of these plays so that if I go in the game, I'm confident that, you know, I'm going to have enough juice to do what I need to do and be ready to go. Hey! Blue crew! Kyle! Dick! Ferg! Jerv! PJ! El Hamon! Sugar right. That makes sense what I said pregame. A lot of times you play a game like this, and there's so much talk that we can't take it lightly, that when it doesn't go well right away, everyone thinks, oh, we're all sideways, we don't want to, and then people get so frustrated. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's not always like guys are coming out soft. Sometimes it just doesn't go well. Like, you don't beat anybody in the NBA by 20 in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So it's like if you have this expectation that you're supposed to do that, it's because you're going to be disappointed.
Thank you, Nick. I named my puppy after you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hopefully it lives a long time.
They call me Mr. Thunder now, and that came from Troy Weaver. He used me as an example of how to be for younger. He said, be like Mr. Thunder, like basically saying I come do my job every day. I cringed when I heard it because I knew the other guys would make fun of me for it, and I never thought it would stick, but it's kind of stuck a little bit. I'm starting to hear that now. At the time, I didn't really like it. I was a little bit embarrassed by it, but I guess it's cool. Mark Bryant, I've been with him since last year in Seattle. He's kind of the big man coach, so I spend every day with him. He's someone that, you know, I owe a lot to in my career, and he's responsible for a lot of the success we've had, a lot of the success individual players have had.
To me, everyone calls Nick Mr. Thunder. I like to call Nick Dirty. He's that type of player that does all the little dirty things that nobody else wants to do.
Kind of like a basketball version of like a janitor, where I just like, if you gotta dive on the floor, you do it. There you gotta set screen, you do it. Take a hard foul. That's what you're supposed to do, and I think that's just how I play.
Oh, he's gonna play with blood streaming down his face.
A lot of times you don't really feel stuff in the game, like there's adrenaline. Places where I've been black and blue against the Lakers, my entire ear was purple. I had to drain blood out of it because it was gonna get cauliflower ear like wrestlers get. Broke a rib, maybe 2 ribs on my left side, maybe 1. I think it was 1 rib. It's very sore, but you can play with a broken rib.
He's the type of guy that you would love to have on your team, but you wouldn't want to play against.
was starting to get some attention for basketball. Some of the Missouri Valley schools, Iowa and Iowa State were interested. Rafe LaFrentz was actually randomly dating a girl from my hometown. They were going to go to a Kansas game. They said, you know, this kid is getting recruited by some schools. Could we get like prospect tickets like as a recruit? And so they brought me in as a prospect without knowing who I was. Roy Williams was good about it. He came and we watched practice the next day, and he came up and talked to me, and he was honest. He said, you know, I don't know much about you, but we might send a coach to watch you practice when we come to Iowa State later in the year. And they did, and saw me and liked what I could do and started recruiting me then. So without that connect, I mean, I think eventually they probably would have started recruiting me, but Kansas was on my radar a lot earlier probably than it normally would have been. Basketball has taken me everywhere. I grew up in Iowa Falls, Iowa. It's a population about 5,000 people. I think there's 4 stoplights. My family vacations would be drives to Kansas City for a baseball game, drive to Minnesota for a baseball game. So we couldn't afford to travel much, and I started playing USA basketball in the summers. I went to Dominican Republic as a 17-year-old kid. I'd never really been anywhere, and that was an eye-opener for me. And the next summer I played in Portugal, all with USA basketball. And this was all even before the NBA, and then NBA, just going to all these cities, playing all these arenas. You know, that's one of the best things about playing in the NBA is you're going to work with guys from entirely different backgrounds. So for me, coming from Iowa, to be able to be really close friends with Royale Ivy from New York City, guys that I play with from Europe, Alex from Spain, like get to know all these people. It's a cool opportunity, incredible opportunity for me. And one of the great things about playing in the NBA.
Not just Monty Rock Pass, but the previous 2.
I have such a unique career. Most guys do not get, especially role players, you don't get so much time in one place. And especially in today's NBA game with shorter contracts, there's more movement. You just don't get to build a bond with guys, and you don't get that much shared experience. But we're able to have that here. Russell and myself, guys that were here before that have moved on, but we were able to get 5-6 years together. And then now, like the newer generation with Steven and Andre, been here a long time now. You know, to be able to have that continuity is really cool, and I think it's really good for the organization. I think it's valued here too. It makes it harder to just give in, you know, in tough moments, because you have people that you've been with for such a long time. You have that shared experience, and I like to think there was an example set by guys like myself, Pert, Russell. I like to think that because they saw us working every day, that's how they work now, and then the next guy's coming in. I think that's what we still have here. Is like it's a winning organization, and I like to think it's because of some of the work we've done as players in the past, and hopefully it'll continue on. I put a lot into this. My family's put a lot into this. I think, yeah, I've always wanted to. It's always been what I wanted to do. So in some ways they're sacrifices, in other ways it's just an opportunity to keep going and pushing for this incredible life I've been able to have, and this career I've been able to have. And I don't have problems with my family. My family is nothing but supportive.
They're up behind the bench. You know who your parents are?
No, I didn't know it.
See your dad up behind 117, almost on the aisle, about halfway up behind our bench, on the right aisle.
Oh yeah, nice.
See us.
There they are. Everybody's here. That's cool.
Yeah, my dad was a high school coach, and since I was a little kid, I would go to the games as like a water boy, and I'd ride on the bus, I'd be in the locker room, I'd be at practice. After the games, I'd get on the court and shoot. So like to me, his teams were always like a big deal to me.
Nick was a real gym rat. Loved to come to practice with me, and he would shoot on the side baskets while we were practicing, and then if there was a little break in the action, he'd run out on the court and shoot a few times. I think when he was in middle school, I started thinking, yeah, this kid's gonna be pretty good.
I like it, I like it, I like it. You go strong,
I stopped coaching when he went to Kansas, and primarily because I wanted to have that flexibility, be able to travel and watch him play whenever I could.
Coming to all the games in college, they drove everywhere. If we played on a Wednesday in Ellis Fieldhouse, they'd come to the game, they'd leave school an hour early. They're both teachers. Pull my kid brother out of school, poor kid, he got drug everywhere. They drive down to a game, watch the game, get home late, be in school the next day. And they come back on Saturday, we play again. So.
In my mind, if you go back through all the years, I remember when he went to Kansas, I remember being there thinking, you know, 17,000 people, screaming fans. I want him to know that there's two people there that don't care whether he scores a point, whether he gets a rebound, whether he, whatever, we just care about him. And so I always tried to make it be that way. We're just here for him. So that's kind of how we've all functioned through this whole thing.
I've put in a ton of work and I've earned it, but I also know that like without them, I wouldn't be able to do it. Mark Sinez, he started as a ball boy, I think in like 1980, 13 years old. He's been here ever since.
When you spend 15 years together with somebody, as much time as we spend together, you kind of develop more of a brotherhood. It carried out way beyond the walls of the office.
He's not really on the basketball side, so he's always can like brighten the mood if, you know, basketball's not going well. I mean, he'll crack a joke and it's always kind of bring you back to reality and kind of, you know, tell you that you're not as important as people think you are, and he's seen it all. He's got a ton of great stories from back in the day, from the old NBA, old Sonics days.
Every time I'll tell a story, he'll like, oh, hey, tell that story again. But don't leave out that part. Make sure you tell him that part.
Then I'll kind of be his hype man and remember the thing about this, and it's like we got a whole routine. And it's one of the cool things about being in one place for so long, to get a friendship like that.
When I was a player, you know, Nick came to New York City and I offered him a chance to come to my junior high school. He came, he showed up, he talked to the kids in my community.
Nick Collison with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I played with Royale the last 2 years. You know, I just wanted to come out and support him in his camp. He does a great thing in his neighborhood, and it's fun to see where Roy grew up, and we got to get him to Iowa next.
He got a chance to be a part of my environment, came to where I grew up. It's not just basketball about Nick. It's about a relationship. It's about a friendship. It's about family. It's about more than just basketball, and you need that along this journey.
A lot of stuff's been going through my head this last couple weeks of the regular season. We played in San Antonio, which we have a lot of history there. Played in New Orleans, where played in the Final Four and had a tough loss, but still an experience that I always remember. And here in Miami, playing in the finals. And you know, every time I come back to these places, I've accumulated memories in a lot of these places. So the hotels, the arenas, they bring back memories of a time in my career. But I'm just trying to enjoy it. I know that I'm going to miss it when it's done. I'm just trying to enjoy being with the friends on the staff, being with the teammates, just enjoying the game, enjoying still playing in practice, and trying to be ready if I get an opportunity to go in the game. I've always said our fans are incredibly consistent. They show up every night. I remember the first playoff game we played here. It was unbelievable. Like, we come out for layup lines 20 minutes before the game, and everyone's in their seat and they're cheering and they're chanting different things. And it's really cool to play in that type of environment. And we're lucky to have it the way that we do here.
Nick, you've hinted a little bit the possibility of this being your final year. Without knowing for sure now, does that make tonight's game, just the last regular season game, potentially for you a little bit more special?
Yeah, I think they're all special coming, late in your career, and I still enjoy playing, enjoy being out there, and we got one regular season game into the playoffs, and then I'll figure out what I'm doing after that. But for sure, I think you realize you're not going to play forever, and I'm at least to the second half of my career. I know that. Other than that, I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. But so I do start to appreciate these moments more and more as the season winds down.
Hey, you guys know I'm old, right? I played my first game in 1988. All right, played in a lot of games. All right, the games you regret are the ones you give in, and the games where you play scared. All right, go out and enjoy playing the game. All right, we got a chance to play tonight. We got a chance to do something good, get started. All right, come on, you're so ready to go. Let's go.
So you've been around 15 years.
Yeah, I was in that famous LeBron, Collison, Dwayne Wade draft that everybody talks about. Those three names are usually the ones people talk about. Right?
Hey, 15 years is a hell of a career.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Good to see you, man. Yep.
One more thing I'd like to say. I'd like to bring up my friend, my mentor, my brother, Nick Collison. Come on, Nick. Come on, Nick. Come on, Nick. He's somebody I always looked up to, man. It's a real pleasure to have him here. I just wanted to make sure you guys show him some love.
I can't hear you anyway.
It's okay.
I appreciate it.
I'm not sure if it's his last season or not, but man, he's somebody I always looked up to as a brother. He's done so much for me in this organization. I just want to make sure you guys gave him a standing ovation for the things he's done for this city, for Oklahoma City. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Paul, you're going to be in the left corner. Corey, you're going to be here wide. Yeah, down screen on Mello. Hit him. Mello's going to flip it back. Steven, step up. It goes back to Mello. We're in special. Steven, hard roll right. Go.
Let it play. There we go. There we go. There we go. Here we go, Steve-O. Being authentic is very important to me as a player, and just how I approach my life, but basketball in particular. I try to not ever do anything that's not for the right reasons, and I believe in it too. I think it's the best thing for me, and it's been the best thing for my career, is to, what is the right thing to do right now in this situation? What's the thing to help us win right now? What's the right play to make? Steve! Hey, did you keep Russ in back door? Steve out. All right. Run it again, same thing. Go play with him. I was taught to play basketball that way, and I'm fortunate enough that I've never gotten away from it, because I think if I would have got away from it, I'm not talented enough to last. I think I have to play the game the right way and carry myself that way for me to last, and I've been able to do it and have a long career, I think, because of it, is because I can affect winning. You got it? Thank you, appreciate it, man. It's mostly on the court, but I think day-to-day too, I like to think that off the court I made relationships where people know that I'm about the right things, and you can trust me, and you can trust that I'm going to be about the right thing at the right time, and that's why I've tried to build my career.
Joe Barry's coach's son. He's a gym rat.
They go down to the baseline to Lofstead to Carlson. Here's Taylor, tries to get it in the side to Collison. Turnaround jump. And they go inside to Collison, puts the move on the blocks. Turnaround jumper, good. Blocked by Collison.
Here comes the slam.
Here we go, dunk. Gets it back to Lindemann, and the Cadets reset their offense. Here's Collison for a three. Good! The Cadet fans trying to implore their Cadets to play hard. Fast break opportunity, and he's going to pull it back out. No, he gives it up to Big Nick. Spinning move, put it down in! 28 seconds. Here comes Collison, and a foul is going to be called. Lindemann down to Collison for the big-time dunk, and he's fouled.
I'll tell you what, that was a real nice second roll.
Looks inside to Collison, he puts on a move, spinning move, puts it up and in.
What a move.
To Collison, put it up and in. Of course, the issue now in the corner to Lindemann, goes baseline, dumps it to Collison, put it up and in. A blocking foul is going to be called on Woodstrom. Inside to Collison. Oh!
Last time we'll see him in the old cadet uniform,
With the 12th pick in the 2003 NBA Draft, the Seattle Sonics select Nick Collison from Kansas University.